G'day guys and welcome to Aussie English. My objective here is to teach you guys the English spoken down under. So whether you want to speak like a fair dinkum Aussie or you just want to understand what the flippin' hell we're on about when we're having a yarn, you've come to the right place. So sit back, grab a cuppa and enjoy Aussie English. G'day guys and welcome to this episode of Aussie English. Today I'm going to talk to you about an expression, no worries or no wukkas. So no worries or no wukkas. Now to worry means to feel uneasy or concerned about something, so to be troubled by something. If you're worried, it means that you're anxious, you're incredibly worried about something. It means, oh my gosh, I'm so anxious, I'm so concerned, I'm scared something bad's happened. And that's the verb to worry about something or to be worried by something. And then the noun, a worry or a worry, is the state of being anxious. So if you have a worry, it means that you are worried about something, to use the verb to explain the noun. So a worry is to be anxious, to be troubled over something that may or may not really be a problem. Other ways of saying no worries or no wukkas in probably American English and the UK English that are more common and that can be used in Australian English are the phrases no problem, you're welcome, forget about it, anytime. How would I use these phrases? So no problem is the kind of phrase that I would use when someone has said thanks for something and I don't think it's a big deal. It wasn't a problem. So I would say, nah, no problem. You're welcome, again, is another way of me saying to someone who's thanking me that it's not a problem, don't worry about it. I can say, you're welcome, you are welcome. If I really want to brush it off, and to brush means to like that, wipe something off of you. If I brush something off, figuratively, it means I don't think it's a big deal. I'm saying, nah, don't worry about it, forget about it. So if I use the term to forget about it, if I say to someone, forget about it, it's me saying, you're welcome, don't worry about it, it's not a problem. It was, I would do this for you anytime, don't worry about it. And that leads us to the last one, where you would say, someone said to you, thank you for doing this for me. I could say, anytime, which means I would do this anytime. It's not a problem. You're welcome. Forget about it. For you, I would do this anytime. So anytime, mate, anytime. So no worries has been very, very common in Australian English for a long time. And no wukkas, at least as far as I know and have experienced personally, has become much more prevalent, much more common. It's been said a lot more often in Australian English, probably in the last 10 years. So I remember hearing this for the first time, I think, in university when I had first started university. And this was about 10 years ago, 10 years before now, maybe 2006, 2007. And I remember someone saying to me, after obviously I had done something for that person, they said to me, no wukkas. And I remember thinking, no wukkas? No wukkas? What the hell is no wukkas? What does that mean? And it was the first time that I'd heard this expression. So since then, though, it has become a lot more common, even though it's sort of a non-expression. It's not unique. It's just we've taken the word worries and we've given it a different sound, wukkas. It's almost like we turned worry into wuk, which doesn't mean anything and is never said. And to pluralize it, to make it plural, we put an S on the end of it, wukkas. Wukkas. So anyway, this is something that you will now hear quite often, especially from other Australians. So I don't know if you're going to hear this in the US, and I don't know if you're going to hear this in the UK, but definitely in Australia at least, personally, I would probably hear this every single day when I speak to Australians. However, it is probably more common that you will hear no worries. So anyway, that's why I think it's important to learn both no worries and no Wukkas. They're both really, really common words, common phrases used in Australian English. And you're going to hear them a lot in Australia, so it's good to be familiar with them. And also, if you use them yourself, it's kind of cool to see. I love hearing when foreign people who are learning English use Australian phrases like that, because it makes me look at you a lot more like you're one of us, you know? As soon as you start talking how we talk, it makes me feel like you're part of my team, you know? And you become unconsciously and consciously a lot more likable. It's hard to explain. It's not like I don't like foreigners, but if you start using terms that I am familiar with, for some reason, it just resonates with me. I think about it, I feel it, and it's just something that I'm sure even in your foreign languages that I don't speak, if I was to use common phrases that are very, very slangy from wherever it is you're from, you're going to think, oh, this guy gets it, you know, he's cool, like he's one of us. Anyway, repeat after me. I'm going to go through both no worries and no Wukkas as if they were responses to the phrase, thanks for cooking me dinner. So someone said to me, Pete, thanks for cooking me dinner. And I would say, no worries, mate. No worries, mate. No worries, mate. No worries, mate. Yeah, no worries, mate. No worries. And no Wukkas? No Wukkas, mate. 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 Yeah, no Wukkas, mate. No Wukkas. One thing that I might add here on the end as a bit of a caveat, as a bit of a bonus, is the fact that we will often say mate at the end of these kinds of phrases. So no worries, mate. It's as if you can use the word mate anywhere you would say someone's name. So you've just substituted that in. So if someone said to me, yeah, no worries, Pete, instead of saying Pete, they can say, yeah, no worries, mate. So that's mate. And for some reason, I haven't analysed this, but I just noticed that saying yeah at the start of a phrase like that, no worries, mate, yeah, no worries. For some reason, we do that quite a bit where it's almost like we agree. We're just saying, yeah, no, of course not. It's not a problem, you know. It's yeah, no worries. So whether or not you use that, don't worry too much. But again, it's just good to draw attention to it, to focus on it for a sec, to make you familiar with it so that when you hear an Australian using these terms, using these words in this way, you will be familiar with it and you'll understand exactly what they're saying. So no worries. Hope you loved the episode and I'll chat to you next time, guys. Have a good one. Thanks for listening to the Aussie English podcast, guys. If you haven't already, please come and join the community on Facebook at www.facebook.com/the Aussie English podcast, where I make daily posts about anything and everything related to Australia. Also, if you're enjoying the podcast, then please leave a review on iTunes or Stitcher or whichever platform you're listening to it through, as it'll help the podcast grow. Thanks again, guys, and enjoy your day.